Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jay from Sony Alpha Lab, and what I got here is some lab testing photos from the new Sony RX10 Mark IV. Now, what I wanted to show you here first was just a 24 equivalent millimeter wide open shot, and if you look up here on the top left, you'll see the information. I was in JPEG mode, and 8.8 millimeter is the equivalent of 24 millimeter. 220 millimeter is the equivalent 600 millimeter. Okay, so you're just seeing the actual lens numbers here, but that works out to, in a 35 millimeter world, to 24 to 600 millimeter, just so you know. So anyways, I focused on the dollar bill for this one. I just wanted to show you the killer sharpness and color all the way to the corner. You can see just how excellent this looks. And I also wanted to particularly show you the out of focus area. See the bolt in the front here? And then in the background here, I actually have a candle in the top of this. So you can see the out of focus area all the way in the background. This is about 12 feet away. All right. Now this next frame, I focused on the bolt. And you can see how the lab scene just butters right out. And this is the minimum focus distance as well. All right. It's very close. The camera's almost touching. The lens hood is almost touching the screw. That's how close you can get when shooting at 8.8 millimeter or 24 millimeter. All right, so now I just wanted to show you a quick aperture run here. This is f2.4, so the wide open setting. Now here's f4, here's f5.6, and you can see the detail coming back in the background. Here's f8, f11, f16. Okay, now this is at 220 millimeter, which is equivalent to 600 millimeter. So at this focal range, wide open is f4 because it's a variable zoom. It doesn't stay at f2.4 the entire way. At 100 millimeter, it switches to f4 pretty much, and then from 100 all the way to 600 is f4. So anyways, here's wide open f4, and I want to show you the out of focus bokeh ball from the candle I have in the background, and just watch when I stop down how the ball gets smaller and smaller. Pretty cool. It's an aperture run, I like to call that. All right, so now we have ISO testing. This is ISO 100, and I shot in raw quality for this ISO test. So this is ISO 100, 200, 400, 800. Now 800 here, I'm starting to see some noise come in, but it looks pretty good overall. I'm also shooting auto white balance, just to let you guys know, because the white balance is just slightly off. I can see it in my eye. This is ISO 1600. And you can definitely start to see some noise coming in, but this is still usable in my opinion. Now ISO 3200, the noise really starts to come in. Now this could still be usable depending on your situation, you know, your workflow, how much noise you like in your images. It'll look good in black and white, things like that. But for a portrait, you're going to start to notice a little bit of degradation, you know, things like that. But overall, when you're zoomed all the way out, it looks quite good. And this is a raw file too, so it can be noise corrected. Now here is where it really starts to go downhill. ISO 6400, it really starts, the color starts to shift. You're almost getting like a green color shift, it looks like here in the shadow areas. But still not too shabby for a 1-inch sensor. Now 12,800 is the most noisy, and that's the most drastic color shift. Here's 6400 again. Here's 12,800. So you can see when I toggle back and forth, the noise increase, it pretty much doubles, you know, and get a better look there. So all right guys, that's about it for this quick lab testing video. And if you want to see more sample photos, you can go to this gallery here that I have linked below on the Google Photos thing, and all the images I took so far are up here, and you can check them out in high resolution. You can zoom in on them. It even made some animations with the 24 frames per second shots, some moon photos and so forth. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to subscribe, ask questions below if you got them, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys.